In bustling metropolis like Makati, where the daily grind of traffic leaves commuters frustrated and businesses struggling. Picture a project meant to transform this chaos into smooth, efficient travel, the Makati subway. But what if this lifeline to the future is on the brink of collapse? Rising costs, unforeseen challenges, and shifting political winds threaten to derail this ambitious endeavor. Meanwhile, Chinese-funded infrastructure projects in the Philippines also face a rocky road of their own, from delays to cancellations. This stark reality highlights the complex web of financial, geopolitical, and logistical factors at play in the country's infrastructure development, raising the question: can the Philippines overcome these hurdles to build a truly connected future?
Today, the 200 billion peso Makati City subway project no longer economically and operationally feasible. That's according to its contractor, listed firm Philippine InfraDev, the joint venture partner of the city of Makati.
InfraDev, the consortium responsible for the Makati subway project, has increasingly raised alarms about the financial viability of the initiative, citing rising costs as a primary obstacle to its completion. In multiple press releases and public statements, InfraDev has highlighted several factors contributing to cost overruns. Foremost among these is inflation, which has significantly impacted construction materials, labor, and operational expenses. Furthermore, right-of-way acquisition issues, particularly delays in land acquisition and securing permits, have compounded these challenges, prolonging timelines and escalating costs. Additionally, unforeseen geological difficulties, including subsurface conditions that were not anticipated in the original project design, have further exacerbated the financial strain. These cumulative factors have caused the project's costs to exceed initial projections by several billion pesos. Although InfraDev has not always disclosed specific figures, the financial gap between the original budget and current estimates underscores the severity of the situation. As Enrique S. Razon Jr., CEO of InfraDev, stated in a recent press conference, "We are facing an unprecedented set of challenges that threaten to derail a project crucial for the future of Metro Manila. The rising costs and ongoing delays make it increasingly difficult to meet the original financial projections." This quote encapsulates the growing concerns surrounding the Makati subway's long-term sustainability, emphasizing the urgency of addressing these escalating financial hurdles. The escalating costs of the Makati subway project can be attributed to a convergence of factors, including economic inflation, complications with right-of-way acquisition, changes in the project scope, and unforeseen geological challenges. Inflation, particularly in the construction sector, has been a major contributor to the rising costs. According to the Philippine Statistics Authority, the Construction Materials Index saw an 8 to 10% annual increase over the past few years, and labor costs have similarly escalated. These price hikes have placed immense pressure on the project's budget, pushing it further from its original cost estimates. As a result, InfraDev has struggled to maintain financial projections within reasonable limits. The right-of-way acquisition process has also been a significant obstacle. Securing the necessary land for the subway route in Metro Manila has long been a challenge, and the Makati subway project is no exception. The process involves complex negotiations with landowners and navigating bureaucratic delays, which have slowed down construction and increased associated costs. Historical precedents, such as those seen with the Metro Manila Skyway and other infrastructure projects, have shown that right-of-way issues often lead to extended timelines and unexpected financial burdens. In the case of the Makati subway, the project's underground nature requires precise alignment with existing infrastructure, adding another layer of complexity to land acquisition efforts. Changes in the scope of the project have further added to the financial strain. Originally conceived as a more compact subway line, the project's scope has expanded in response to evolving city planning requirements and political pressures. These modifications, which include the addition of more stations and extensions to the subway's length, were designed to maximize the long-term utility of the system. However, the cost of these changes has been substantial, necessitating additional materials, labor, and more complex engineering solutions, all of which have inflated the project's overall budget. Unforeseen geological challenges have also played a critical role in increasing costs. As construction crews began excavation, they encountered unexpected subsurface conditions, including unstable soil layers and underground water tables. These unforeseen obstacles necessitated advanced tunneling and station construction techniques, requiring specialized equipment and materials that significantly raised the project's costs. These geological hurdles were not anticipated during the project's initial design phase, adding another unplanned layer of financial burden. Together, these factors have pushed the project's budget far beyond initial projections, creating a financial crunch for InfraDev and putting the entire Makati subway initiative at risk unless these issues are swiftly addressed. The potential shutdown of the Makati subway project would have far-reaching consequences, not only for Metro Manila's infrastructure, but also for its broader economic landscape. Makati, as the Philippines' central business district, suffers from severe traffic congestion that impedes the flow of goods, services, and people. The subway was envisioned as a solution to this ongoing problem, offering a much-needed alternative to the congested roadways. Without it, traffic is expected to worsen, exacerbating delays, increasing costs for businesses, and further straining the daily lives of commuters. The absence of the subway would particularly hurt the retail and services sectors, which depend on the ease of transportation for both employees and customers. Moreover, the shutdown would result in a loss of significant investments, including millions of dollars already spent on construction, planning, and development. These sunk costs would be irrecoverable, and any further delay or halting of the project would translate into a massive financial setback for investors, especially InfraDev and the Philippine government. This situation would represent a wasted opportunity for long-term returns on a public-private partnership designed to address one of Metro Manila's most persistent infrastructural issues. The potential shutdown also threatens to undermine investor confidence in the Philippines' public-private partnership (PPP) framework. As one of the country's high-profile infrastructure projects, the Makati subway's potential collapse could signal to both local and foreign investors that the PPP model is unstable or unreliable. This could deter future investments in essential infrastructure, slowing the development of other major projects and hindering the country's broader economic growth. Foreign capital, crucial for large-scale projects, could become more reluctant to engage with the Philippine market if the risks associated with PPP projects are perceived to outweigh the rewards. Lastly, there would be considerable social costs for the commuters who have eagerly anticipated the subway's completion. For millions of daily passengers in Makati, the subway was seen as a lifeline, offering faster, safer, and more efficient transportation. If the project is shut down, these commuters would be left with limited alternatives, exacerbating congestion on already strained public transport systems. This would increase frustration and dissatisfaction, likely leading to social unrest as daily life becomes even more challenging for those reliant on public transportation. The failure to deliver on such a high-profile project would not only affect the commuters' quality of life, but could also contribute to a broader sense of disillusionment with the government's ability to resolve critical urban challenges. China has become a key investor in Philippine infrastructure through initiatives like the Build, Build, Build program and the Belt and Road Initiative, BRI, pledging over $8 billion for projects in transportation, energy, and telecommunications. These investments typically come in the form of loans and are aimed at addressing the country's infrastructure deficits. Notable projects include the Metro Manila subway, partially funded by Chinese loans, and other rail projects like the North-South Commuter Railway. These projects aim to ease congestion and improve transportation, with the Metro Manila subway budgeted at $5.3 billion, part of which is funded by China. Several Chinese-funded projects in the Philippines, including the Kaliwa Dam, have faced delays and cancellations due to loan terms, right-of-way issues, and environmental concerns. These challenges reflect broader criticisms of Chinese investments in infrastructure, such as accusations of creating debt traps in other countries. The Makati subway, a public-private partnership, PPP, differs from Chinese-funded projects, which are often government-to-government loans. PPPs involve shared risks between the government and private investors, while Chinese-funded projects tend to be more centralized with less private sector involvement. Both types face similar challenges like cost overruns and delays. PPPs in the Philippines help mobilize private capital for public infrastructure, but face challenges like regulatory hurdles and risk allocation. While some PPP projects have been successful, others have suffered from delays and cost overruns. The Philippines' geopolitical stance, particularly its relationship with China, affects its infrastructure projects. Shifts in political alignment influence funding choices, with Chinese loans often seen as an alternative to more traditional funding sources. Transparency and accountability are crucial to prevent cost overruns and delays in both PPPs and Chinese-funded projects. Independent audits and progress reports are needed to ensure efficient execution. Delays or cancellations of major projects can hinder economic growth by affecting productivity, trade, and investor confidence. Projects like the Makati subway and Chinese-funded railways are vital for the country's infrastructure development and overall economic progress. The Makati subway project faces significant financial challenges, including rising costs due to inflation, right-of-way issues, and unforeseen geological problems, as highlighted by InfraDev. Similarly, Chinese infrastructure investments in the Philippines have experienced mixed outcomes, with some projects facing delays and cancellations due to loan terms, right-of-way disputes, and geopolitical tensions. These hurdles reflect broader systemic issues in the country's infrastructure development, regardless of funding source. To improve future projects, a balanced approach incorporating both public-private partnerships, PPPs, and foreign investment models is essential, with a focus on transparency, risk management, and political stability. Efficient, sustainable infrastructure will be crucial for the Philippines' growth, requiring careful navigation of both financial and geopolitical complexities.